Someone's tone shifts mid-conversation today, and you cannot quite tell if it means something or nothing at all. Maybe it is a partner. Maybe it is an old friend who reaches out of nowhere. Whatever it is, your instincts feel oddly unreliable right now, even though you have never doubted them this much before. Here is the strange part. The same sky that is blurring your read on other people is also making you more magnetic than usual. Both things are true at once, and by the end of this, you will understand exactly why and what to do about it. The bigger picture. Two forces are shaping this Tuesday for Libra, and they are pulling in almost opposite directions. Early in the day, Venus, your ruling planet, forms a trine with Pluto. In Western tropical astrology, this is a quietly powerful aspect. It deepens your presence, sharpens your charisma, and draws people toward you with an intensity that feels almost effortless. Whatever you say lands with more weight. Whatever you want, you are more willing to actually go after, including in areas like money, resources, and shared value, where you might normally hold back. But later, the sky turns. Venus moves into opposition with Neptune, activating your seventh house of partnership. This is the house of one-on-one relationships, and Neptune here has a specific effect. It softens edges until you can no longer tell what is real and what you are imagining. Someone's signals may blur. Their words might say one thing while their energy says another, and your usual sharp Libra instincts may struggle to sort fact from wishful interpretation. Meanwhile, in Vedic or sidereal tradition, a different but related picture emerges. The moon sits in a strong position in Gemini today, and rather than bringing stability, it tends to stir mental restlessness, a kind of scattered, second-guessing energy that can leave you feeling insecure or unusually drained. Astrologers working in this tradition often suggest that decisions made under this influence benefit from outside perspective, particularly from someone older or more experienced, before you commit to anything significant. Here is where it gets interesting. The Western lens sees today's confusion as Neptune fogging your read on another person. The Vedic lens sees the same day's mental fatigue as coming from the moon itself, unsettled and searching for footing. Two completely different systems. Two different mechanisms, and yet both are describing the identical experience. Your clarity is compromised today, even while your charm is at its peak. That combination is exactly why this day needs careful handling instead of impulsive action. Love. If you are in a relationship, today may surface a question you have been avoiding. Does this person's behavior actually match what they are telling you? Early in the day, that trine between Venus and Pluto makes you feel closer to a partner. More magnetic, more able to pull real intimacy out of a conversation. It is a good window for depth. But as Venus later opposes Neptune in your partnership house, the picture can blur. A mixed signal, a delayed reply, a vague answer, a compliment that feels slightly too smooth might leave you wondering what is actually going on beneath the surface. Psychologically speaking, this is also a day that can expose a familiar pattern for Libra, rescuing people, or absorbing more emotional labor than the relationship is actually asking of you. If a partner or admirer leans on you today, notice whether you are responding from genuine desire or from a quiet fear of disappointing them. That is not weakness. It is simply worth naming. For singles, the same magnetism that deepens closeness can also create illusion. Evolutionary astrology frames this clearly. When someone seems almost too perfect, too aligned, too easy, it is worth asking whether you are filling in gaps with your own hope rather than their actual words. The unanswered question hanging over your love life today is this. Is what you are feeling about this person real, or is it partly a story you are telling yourself in soft lighting? The resolution is not to shut down. It is to ask directly. If someone's interest feels unclear, ask what they actually want, then really listen to the answer instead of the version you were hoping for. Mutual interest that is real should hold up in plain daylight, not just in a flattering moment. Enjoy the warmth today offers, but keep your own shape while you are in it. Career. That same instinct to protect your emotional boundaries in love has a direct parallel at work. The generosity that shows up as over-involvement with a partner can just as easily appear as overcommitment on the job, saying yes to one more task, one more favor, one more responsibility that quietly drains your bandwidth. Today's Pluto trine gives you real leadership presence. People are more likely to listen when you speak and more likely to trust your judgment on something important. That is worth using deliberately rather than spending it on obligations you did not actually choose. If a colleague or manager asks for something today and your gut hesitates, it is fine to say, "Let me get back to you," rather than committing on the spot. Then check honestly. Will this task energize you or quietly exhaust you? The moon's unsettled position in Gemini can make decisions feel harder to trust before midday, so postponing anything that is not urgent until your clearer window later on is a reasonable move, not an avoidance. Money. The boldness running through today's chart extends into how you think about resources, value, and what you are willing to risk. With Venus trine Pluto active, you may feel unusually willing to go further than usual, exploring less conventional financial territory, whether that is an alternative investment, a bartering arrangement, or simply making an unconventional purchase that would normally make you hesitate. This is a legitimate window for testing limits most people play too safe to explore. Still, the same fog clouding your read on people can cloud your read on spending. Big purchases made in the emotional afterglow of Venus opposing Neptune are the ones most likely to be regretted later. A wiser use of today's energy is paying down existing debt before adding anything new and letting any bold financial move wait until your judgment feels steadier. If there is a dream on your mind, a trip, a project, a purchase, today is better spent planning it carefully than booking it impulsively. Health. Here is the detail most people miss about a day like this. The mental fog you are feeling is not a malfunction. It is information. That unsettled Gemini moon can leave you feeling scattered, low on energy, or unusually indecisive, and the instinct is often to push through and force clarity anyway. But what looks like confusion may actually be your mind asking for a pause before it commits to anything big. Treated that way, today's fatigue becomes protective rather than frustrating. Practically, this means giving yourself permission to rest instead of muscling through low energy hours. Try to steady both intuition and logic rather than trusting either one alone, and if a big decision can wait, let it. Some Vedic practitioners might suggest general remedies for an unsettled moon, quiet reflection, calming routines, or simply avoiding certain colors that clash with your energy today, such as lime green. Anything more specific, like a personal gemstone recommendation, genuinely depends on your individual birth chart and is not something to apply universally. So treat broad color or wellness suggestions as the safe, general layer and leave anything more targeted to a full chart reading. On the physical side, easing off sugar and adding more genuinely nourishing food can help steady the same energy dip the moon is stirring up, home and family. This is also a good day to lean on people who know you well. If a decision feels foggy, Vedic tradition's advice to consult someone older or more experienced is not a sign of indecision, it is a smart way to borrow clarity you do not currently have. A parent, mentor, or trusted elder may offer a steadier read on a situation than you can manage alone today. You may also hear from someone from your past, an old friend who resurfaces and reminds you of interests you share that you would nearly forgotten. That kind of reconnection fits the day's magnetic Venus-Pluto energy perfectly. People are drawn back into your orbit, and conversations can go deeper than small talk if you let them. Family conversations, too, may carry more emotional weight than usual, so choose your tone with the same care you are being asked to apply everywhere else today. Travel and spirit. If travel has been sitting quietly on your mind, a place you have always wanted to see, a trip you keep postponing, today's energy supports dreaming about it seriously rather than booking it impulsively. Picture it like sketching a map before the journey. The detail work now, paying down what you owe, saving with intention, protects the trip from becoming another thing you cannot fully enjoy. Rome, or wherever your version of that is, deserves to be planned from stability, not urgency. Spiritually, today asks for something quieter than usual. The willingness to sit with not knowing. Between the Neptune fog blurring your read on others and the moon stirring restlessness within you, this is not a day built for forcing answers. It is a day for noticing what your intuition is trying to say once the noise settles and trusting that clarity will return on its own timeline. Lucky signs. If you are looking for the day's easiest wins, your most productive and mentally clear window falls between 2 and 5:15 in the afternoon, a good stretch for anything that actually needs your full judgment. Lime green is worth skipping today. It does not sit well with your current energy. Your compatible energy leans toward depth over surface charm, so conversations that go somewhere real will serve you better than ones that stay light. And if you are choosing a color to wear intentionally, something warm and grounding will support the steadiness you are working to hold on to. Today's guidance. By now, the shape of this day should feel clear. You are more magnetic than usual but less certain than usual, and both are true for the same reason. The move is not to distrust your charm or panic about the fog. It is to slow down just enough to ask real questions instead of filling silence with assumptions. Ask a partner what they actually want. Ask yourself whether a favor will drain you or fuel you before you agree to it. Let big purchases and big decisions wait for your clearer hours instead of your foggiest ones. That tone shift you noticed earlier, the one that started all of this, it may mean less than you feared or more than you assumed. Either way, you will not know by guessing. You will know by asking, listening, and giving your own instincts room to catch up with the rest of you. That is the real gift hiding inside today's chart, and it is one only you can unwrap.